Being a woman, one of the major responsibilities we face is being a good homemaker. Women also work these days. So, what is the best way to juggle and make sure the house becomes a home? And what are the qualities or sanskars which are very essential that we imbibe in our children today?
You must open a chat group on WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, Facebook, just for your family. Today there is no other way to make a home. You and your children, you and your husband are on the same chat group means there is a home. Otherwise, they'll be looking at you and chatting with somebody. So it's very important, if you have children, if they have not already grown to a point where they're on a different chat group already, if they are still young, one of the most important things that you need to do is, this may be a little more challenging in India than elsewhere, but it's very much possible. It's very important that you expose your children to nature. Nature need not necessarily mean you have to go to some tiger reserve. You can just walk somewhere. On a Sunday, instead of sitting in front of the television or instead of being on this or that, which are variety of online caricatures, if you take your children out to experience something which is life. See, a child does not listen to what you say, I want you to understand this. They attach no significance to anything that you say. Parents are always surprised and they're breaking their heads, but they're absorbing everything that's happening around them. They're not listening to your talk, they're not interested in your talk, because anyway it doesn't make much sense. You know, when your parents were talking, these things did not make any sense to you, but how do you expect it'll make sense to your children? But they're absorbing life. If you expose them to life other than human societies, they will absorb life in an unprejudiced way. They will not… coming back to this subject if we have to, they will not discriminate between what is male and female, what is masculine, feminine. They… in a more fundamental level of intelligence, you grasp, for life to happen, every aspect is needed. It is only in the logical mind that you can eliminate one and highlight the other. But in reality, everything is happening as one, isn't it? If your children has to grow up in a balanced way, this is something you must invest in. That you, along with them, not trying to teach them ecological lessons, not trying to give this and that, just being in nature is a great lesson. I know this culture has not come up in India for a variety of reasons, but you can bring it back, we're trying to bring it back in many different ways. Just going out, you must see, we do this both in United States and here in our… We take children and camp in the jungle, they think. We walk them through the jungle, and when sundown happens, we camp. They can hear all the sounds of the jungle. They think they are in the wild, but actually they are in a fenced area. But they don't know that. They're experiencing this as real jungle because they can hear the elephants, they can hear all the other sounds. How children mature in a matter of 3 to 4 days is unbelievable, The level of maturity that comes into them, especially city children who come there, who always lived in apartments and with a certain sense of unreality in their mind, they mature so fast. In a matter of few days you can see this change. In United States, because our center is very large, it's over 1400 acres, so we have enough space to camp in many places which are really wild, but they have shot up everything that was wild. There's really no wildlife except a little bit of mountain lions which are not really of much danger. But here it's tiger country, so we don't want to camp in the jungle, but we camp somewhere where children believe they are in the jungle. But just being there, absorbing all the aspects of nature, children will mature in a fantastic way. Your life, it is… just because you have a child, it doesn't mean you have to create a human being. There is no such thing, okay? That is done by the creation, not by you. It's a privilege, it's happening through you, but you can't do it. Yes, can you create a life? No, it's happening through you, that's all. Such a privilege, most people go through it as enormous stress. Here and there they smile, looking at their children, rest of the time only stress.
Sadhguru,
One second, we'll come to you. Anyway, the human species is not in danger. If you feel you're not ready for something like that, there is no compulsion that every one of you must deliver a child. Unless you believe, unless you are clear that you are going to produce a child which is at least a couple of notches better than you. Yes, it's very important that when we produce a next generation, in some way they must be better than us, isn't it? If we are going to produce a generation which is less than us, this is crime against humanity. Yes, it is. So if you're not so clear about it, human species is not in danger, that we have to encourage everybody, please have children. I'm trying to institute an award for all those young women who are capable, physiologically capable of having a child, but they chose not to have a child. I want to institute an award because there is no better service to humanity. Because right now we are 7.3 billion people. At the beginning of 20th century, we were only 1.6 billion people. In 100 years, we are 4 times up, 7.6 billion. The United Nations makes a prediction that by 2050, we will be 9.6 billion people. By 2075, we are supposed to be 12 billion people. At this rate, it doesn't matter how much wealth we have, what we have, our children and their children cannot live well on this planet. Yes or no? So the greatest thing that we can do is plan to reduce the human population in the next 50 years rather than increase the population, and as if it's some kind of a prediction. It's all right to say tomorrow is going to be raining, tomorrow is going to be sunny. You can't say tomorrow we are going to be 10 billion people. This is stupid. Yes or no? We can decide by 2050, instead of being 9.6 billion people, we will make it 5 billion people. You don't have to kill anybody, you just have to slow down the reproduction. Yes? I think this is the most important responsibility. So a home need not necessarily mean bursting with children. That was our image when we were agricultural societies. When there was lot of land to be tamed, we wanted 10 sons. They used to bless, 100 sons you must have. You know, Dhritarashtra had 100 sons and what a mess. They used to bless like this, may you have 100 sons. Because we were agricultural families and we had to tame the land. More sons you had, more labor you had, more prosperity and well-being. There is no land to be tamed. Nothing left to be tamed. Everything is gone too tame, we got to get the wildlife back. Yes, we got to get the wildlife back. They're saying from 1972 to 2012, 54% of the wildlife has gone dead. How's that? So right now, there is no… human species is not an endangered species, just for your information. When I look at the fertility clinics all over Chennai, I wonder, whose idea is this? This problem is a crippling aspect of the feminine. To feel… people have brought this into the society, if you want to feel like a woman, you must have a child. This is rubbish, this is social nonsense. You don't have to have a child to feel like a woman. And anyway, you should not feel like a woman if you are not a woman. If you are a woman, anyway you will feel like a woman. You should not feel like a woman if you're not one.